Welcome to another episode of Friday Nights on the Bayou. I'm your host, Chachere, here enjoying my Reese's peanut butter ice cream cup. I'm really enjoying. Like before the show,
Not sponsorship.
It's not a sponsorship, but I'll say this: I was driving home and I was talking with Jace from the car. I came over from the North Shore over the causeway. My head was hurting, which I'll explain why late. Just a little soon, very soon. But this ice cream has literally saved my life. I don't know what to think of it. I'm not sure if it's good. I'm not sure if my head, it's just my adrenaline because I just had a headache and it's doing a whole bunch of weird stuff with that. It's maybe just because I'm just hungry. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And I forgot to mention the part that I'm the owner and founder of Ruger Sports Media, which is where this podcast, of course, is owned by, and which it's owned by me. But I'm tired. I don't know, man. But it doesn't matter. And also, I'm a reporter for Crescent City Sports, where you can follow my written work, which is the game I covered tonight, St. Paul's and Mandeville, which will be on the website pretty soon. Got to type it up and upload it. And Jace, of course, Lejeune of Gridiron Football, will type up his story of Episcopal Dunham, which was a downpour. Sorry to hear about that, buddy. It never had to do with any rain. Meanwhile, Jace is getting soaked and
yep.
I love doing the Nelson laugh from The Simpsons, bro.
I was just about to say I
started rewatching The Simpsons. Like I think it was like a couple months ago, and dude, like I just love that laugh. It's like that's funny.
I was just about to tell you that was Nelson from The Simpsons.
Yeah,
just about to tell you that. And it looks like Grant is frozen. So another. So let's see. He gets back. Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, my computer froze.
I think he froze again.
So
I got you now. I think.
I don't know. Here's my Wi-Fi is good. My Wi-Fi is good. We actually got new Wi-Fi. But I don't know. That was weird. That was really weird. It doesn't matter.
I got you now.
Another crazy day. Yeah, it's just been a crazy night, man. There's been a lot of crazy games. I went to a crazy game last night. We're gonna talk a lot about just everything that happened this week. It was a little crazy, is what we expected this weekend to be. Great high school football Thursday night and tonight, and then you got another day tomorrow in New Orleans. Of course, New Orleans, we always play Saturday games because we have a shortage of stadiums. So there's going to be some games that can move over to Saturday. And there's some good games tomorrow as well, Jace. I mean, De La Salle and JFK is basically it's going to determine who will be the district champion. Whether Warren Easton, there's a lot of stakes in that game because Warren Easton is still trying to fight for a playoff spot. They're just below the line, just below the cutoff. The cutoff is 24 teams, and they're just below it. So they need a victory tomorrow. Really a victory in their next two games to advance to the playoffs, which I think I don't remember the last time Warren Easton.
I was about to say,
I don't say last year, but I'm talking about where
just being out, like not having enough wins, just playing the season out, not making the playoffs. Warren Easton not making the playoffs,
that's gonna be weird.
That's gonna be weird, not to see them in the playoffs. I mean, obviously they have chances to get in if they can win out, like you said, tomorrow against Brother Martin. But that's just a program I never thought would just be on the outside looking in, and now they have the opportunity. I mean, they have an opportunity to win out and get a chance back in. That's why it's good that you got 2 more games left to play and have a chance to control your own destiny. But if you're Warren Easton, I mean, you're in playoff mode already because the loss. You're pretty much out. It's kind of the same thing with LSU, right? Like the playoffs don't start or anything, but if you're LSU, like your playoff starts right now. I mean, it starts against Alabama. You can't lose the rest of the way just to get in the college football playoff, be in discussion for college football playoff. So it's the same thing here with Warren Easton. Like you're in playoff mode, even though playoffs haven't hit. You are in playoff mode if you want to get into the playoffs.
Right. This ice cream's really good, bro.
I can tell that you're enjoying it.
But anyway, it's in my life, man. It really has. But but yeah, I mean, just that's a so it'd be a huge opportunity for Easton to win if they can win tomorrow. This is probably their best. I mean, now they have Jesuit too, and Jesuit did lose against Rummel 42-7, which shocked me. Which
Yeah.
I'm wondering, so that's the thing about Rummel is like I have no like they're obviously really good. The record says that their defense is really good, but like the offense, I can't get a good read on this offense. Like that's the thing. Like Rummel, like the last like since 2021, you can't get a good read in this Rummel team because like okay, they have the talent, but like I mean, how are they going to play? Are they going to? I think it's about consistency. I think this is the first time, like, really started during their playoff run where they've been really consistent. Now the issue is where's the offense at right now in this stage of the season? Right now we got 51 views, so I'm seeing it climb. Let's just say it is a big weekend of high school football. So I think that viewer could go up. But anyway, if you guys are watching this on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, feel free to leave a comment. Me and Jason will answer it, and or if you have a comment or question, we'll respond to it. And you're going to be on the show. You're going to be at the bottom right here. Your name's going to be up there. So show yourselves. Ask your questions. Don't be afraid. We're going to answer them no matter how stupid or how smart they are. We don't care.
There's not stupid questions, only stupid answers. So
exactly right. Exactly. That's true. That is very true. That's actually a really true statement. I mean, it can be a stupid question, but like if you word the answer wrong, they're like, oh, what did this guy just say? Like, it's true. It's true. But anyway, feel free. Feel free to leave a comment. See how it goes. Feel free to leave a comment or a question. Me and Jason will gladly respond to it. But yeah, that's just the so Rummel's just I think it'd be very interesting to see if Rummel's office could do that again next week because they got caught.
Yeah. I mean, and we saw this, and the reason why I picked Rummel to win this game, Grant, is we saw this team get hot a little bit, towards the end of the regular season, and we saw what they did in the playoffs, right? Make it to the semifinals and making the run that they did, and I felt like that it was like you said, the offense was struggling. We talked about on your preview show was I just felt that this was a game with Gennaro Buggage, the offense gets a little bit on track. I mean, it was just I don't know, just had that feeling that was going to happen, and this was big for them, going into the playoffs and having a chance to really make a run. I mean, making the semifinals last year, and remember they were part of that Mother Nature being involved in Mother Nature, right? They were tied with Catholic through three quarters, had a chance to with one more quarter left to play on that Saturday morning. They had to move to play the fourth quarter on Saturday, and then Catholic found a way to win it. But who knows what it could have happened that Friday night? They kept on playing that game, but yeah, this team started to emerge a little bit. We knew about their defense, how good they've been playing this year, and they started off really good offensively to start off the year. But I just had a feeling after a little bit of a slump that they just have too much. I mean, they have a lot of talent on the opposite side. I know Norman Taylor's been banged up, but they still got a lot of talent on the offensive side of the football. So it was only a matter of time to get it clicking again, and they clearly did. It's a really good Jesuit defense.
Yeah, Jace. I mean, it's Rummel's offense can be really good. The issue is just been inconsistent. I mean, a lot of that has to do with the fact that Norman Taylor was out with injury. So I was at the St. Paul's Mandeville game, and that was a crazy game itself. So I really wasn't following along with some of the other games going on across the state. I mean, the only ones I was kind of following was Honville and Destrehan. That's because I was seeing that a whole lot on my Twitter, because I'm in New Orleans and also got Jared, and the Hashtag guys were there, so they're keeping me updated. But I don't know if Norman Taylor's back, I could probably explain why. I don't know. I mean, hopefully, I could probably figure it out, but I have but just if Norman Taylor is back, that's huge. I mean, I just want to know what happened in this game. Well, actually, they did broadcast it. Chris City Sports, but I'll get to it in a second. But anyway, but Jason, let's talk about the games we were at. I mean, let's talk about the game I was at yesterday, Thursday. This is a game that, I mean, I repeat, no one in the New Orleans area expected this to be a district title game. but it was,
Yeah.
and that was Riverdale and East Jefferson. You know, you know, it was a perfect game for Halloween. Just just two teams you never expected to be in this type of game. I mean, it was on Halloween night, and then also the way it ended, which made
Scary
it
ending
incredible.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
scary ending.
so to kind of explain what happened. So Riverdale had the ball. They're like driving. They're driving down the field. Like they look like they're about to put up the game-winning points. So, I mean,
Mhm.
probably preferably a touchdown because they didn't really have much of a kicking game,
And the
but
score was
they
5 late, right? It was
yeah
13-13.
that was 13-13. Yeah, so Riverdale was driving down the field. Rita Ghazali is one of the better quarterbacks in this area. I think he's like top. I think he's in the top 5, maybe. I know he's in like the top 15 in the state,
Yeah.
according to Max Reps. Like he's been having a really good season for the Rebels, the Scottish Rebels.
Yeah.
And Riverdale was driving down the field. Like he was, Rita Ghazali was, completing some passes left and right. They get to East Jefferson's 36-yard line. And then East Chef, it was Iago Henrique. He comes off the edge. He hits Rita Ghazali. The ball pops out. His name is escaping me. I read it in the article. I think it was Bryce Poche. I know he got his last name right, but I'm not sure if he got his first name right. But he scoops up the fumble. He's alert. He sees the ball on the ground. He scoops it up and races towards the end zone, 60 yards. I mean, it was an incredible play. The place went crazy because it was Drew Prochet. Drew Prochet. That's his name. So Drew Prochet picked up the ball, ran. I'll probably say a little bit over like 55 yards to the end zone. The place went wow. It's 30. By the way, this is 30 seconds left to go in the game. So like it
Yeah.
was. I mean, it was just one of those like. What are the percentages that happens? What is the percentage that where you get a strip
Mhm.
sack and the guy runs 50 yards towards the end zone? I mean, it was just such a low percentage play, and it could have and then nothing. It's just a low percentage play for a team to win the game. Not only that, win the game, but win the district title. That game's gonna be remembered forever
Mhm.
in the history of East Jefferson's football program.
Yeah.
And then also, just Halloween night, man. Like you couldn't write that
Mhm.
script better, Jace.
No, no, you can't. And what a job Coach Glover's done with that
Mm-hmm.
program. And Coach Glover he's a Baton Rouge guy. He was a coach at Thrive Academy, and came over here and the East Jefferson the second year with the program, and they got some talent. I mean, Dorian Hollins is a guy that we invited to
Yes.
play Gridiron football, American Bowl game. So they got some talent over there at East Jefferson, and it's good to see them have the. We've seen a lot of teams that have had success in the past. Like we talked about Franklinton, right? A lot this
Mhm.
year. But East Jefferson's another one of those teams that, I mean, I guess about a decade ago, they beat in the car to win the state championship. And tying those two programs together, Coach Salter Formaggio was the head coach at East Jefferson when they won state, and now he's leading Franklinton, tying those teams together. But it seems like they're getting that both come up with district championships, and that was a big win. Like you said, like what's the probability of that happening? Like that's like probably the last thing that you expect to happen: a fumble, a scoop and score return for a touchdown. I mean, to that point, I mean, nobody expects that, right? Especially when Riverdale is trying, like you said, the offense that they're having this year, and having the ability to, maybe try to kick a game-winning field goal at the end and set up yourself in field goal range, or even worse, like let's just go to overtime, with the game being tied 13, worst case scenario. But huge play defensively by East Jefferson, and that's why, like the defense, I mean, I say defense wins championships, right? Well, East Jefferson's defense won them a district championship. So, congratulations to Coach Glover. I know they went to our media day again this year for 2 years, and congratulations to them for the Warriors for winning the district championship and having the year that they're having, and it's still going to go on as we go into the playoffs as well.
Yes, and I just wanted to say this right now. Norman Taylor is in fact back. Matter of fact, he had 3 touchdowns tonight.
Yep, that helps. That helps. Now they have a really good running
Yeah.
back as well behind him, but it helps getting Norman Taylor back, and when he's back in his offense, when he's at his healthiest, you saw how good this offense was at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
When he's at his
Yeah.
healthiest, like it's a good time to get him back if you're Archbishop Rummel because you
Right.
can set yourself up with a run when we get to the playoffs.
Yeah, and it starts next week when you go against Carr, which
Yeah, it starts next week. Yeah,
good luck. Hey, by
good
the way, we're
luck.
at 6. Good luck. Yeah. By the way, we're at 69 views. Just a
Awesome,
fun fact. Yep.
awesome.
No, it's not awesome. It's nice.
Yeah, of course, in
Yeah.
your head, I'm thinking 69.
Jace, come on, Jace, come on,
I mean,
get
you
the
said it
program.
first.
You're supposed to say nice. It's always been. It's
Oh,
always
you
been
know what
nice.
everybody's
It's
talking
been
about. I mean, you know what you're referring
everyone said
to.
nice, and you said awesome. What is wrong with you?
You said it too.
I did say it too, but like I'm a sheep. Okay, okay, I'm a peacock captain. Let me fly on this one. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to the schedule. I know, Jace, you were not at this game. I was not at this game. Actually, I was at the Riverdale game at the same time. I did see the ending of it, however. I know you watched a good bit of it. But Magic Prep had a huge win over U High. I guess you could call it an upset, but to the Chargers of Magic Prep, that really wasn't. We always knew that this is going to be a very good team. They did not start off that way. I mean, but they had a really tough schedule to start the season. But it seemed like they got things started to get things clicking.
Yeah.
In their loss against Mandeville, because Mandeville was up big, but then they're able to come back, score a lot of points. I think they scored 42 points, but Mandeville scored 50 plus. But you knew the talent was there. It's just when was this team going to click? And it seems like this team's finally clicking. That's a huge win over U High in rainy conditions.
Yeah, it is, Grant. That was a huge win for Madison Prep for Landry Williams. If you think about last year, U High had their number, and they ran away from Madison Prep in that football game. And was it going to be a blowout? Was it going to be an overtime game, what we saw 2 years before that? I mean, it could be either way. But this Madison Prep football team, we knew they were capable of pulling off an upset, and they did. And 14-6, I think the big number here. We talk about Tylen Johnson. He's having a great senior season. He's leading one of the Baton Rouge leading area passers in the area, and they relied on the ground game. They relied on the run game, 250 yards rushing against a really good U High defensive front. U High, I believe they struck first. They went up 6-0, but after that, Madison Prep did a great job of pulling them out the end zone. Tylen Johnson had a tough, gritty performance with his legs. They were able to run the football. Defense was phenomenal. They had an interception at the end, picking off Emil Picarella, and that gets them the district championship. So congratulations to Landry Williams, to the Chargers for a huge win. And now we got to start talking about this Madison Prep football team. We're talking about that division. I believe that's Division Two select bracket. We are talking about Archbishop Shaw. We are talking about U High. You got to talk about Madison Prep. That they are a threat to winning this bracket, and that was a huge win for Madison Prep. And that's a couple times this year. Bad weather. When we talk about Achilles heel for U High, it's been bad weather.
Oh,
I mean, you think about it. The 3-0 loss to Woodlawn. I mean, 3-0 win to Woodlawn. The game against Rummel. We were
15
both
points.
there for. Yeah.
That's 50. Well, no, it's not 50 points because they scored 7?
10.
They scored 6.
Yeah,
That's
16
13.
points.
16 points, yeah.
16 points. So you scored 3 points against Woodlawn. You scored 7 points against Rummel, and then you scored 6 points against Madison Prep. All are bad weather games, all in the rain. So that's been Achilles heel, and that's been a struggle for this U High team that we've seen in bad weather, and that needs to get fixed because guess what? You're going to be playing a lot of games in the playoffs. There might be a lot of bad weather games down the road. So that is something that this U High team needs to figure out when it comes to bad weather conditions, and that's something you got. But you got to give your credit to Madison Prep. They were the better team that night. They deserved to win. They won the football game. They deserve to get that win. And congratulations to the Charge for winning district.
Oh yeah, definitely. Congratulations to Coach Landry Williams. That's what a lot of resilience by that squad to come back. I believe they started the season was a 0-3. Where they start? I know they started off 1-3, but they started off the season 0-3, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
they start. I think they were 0-3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double check just to make sure that we got it right. But
Yeah, I'm checking it right now, actually.
I think you're right. I think they started.
Yeah, 0-3. Yeah, they started off 0-3. Yeah,
and they've won 6
0-3.
straight.
Yeah, so they lost. So their first 3 opponents were Dutchtown, Mandeville, and Southside. All away games, by the way. All of them were away. Actually, their first 6 games were away.
Yeah.
They've only played
also,
2.
I guess technically 0-4. If you want to think about it, because they did not have a great showing in the Jamboree against Catholic.
They didn't know.
Catholic,
Yeah,
but still, like I think that's helped them. And
Yeah.
playing those four games early in the season and being able to get back on track. I think that's a good form of Grant. To be honest, we've seen a lot of teams do this, and St. Thomas More is going to be another team we're going to talk about. They did the same philosophy, right? Play tough, non-district, take care of business in district play, compete for a district championship, and then go into the playoffs playing your absolute best. And right now, I mean that formula has worked for Madison Prep.
Yeah, I mean, just like what Hudson Fuller said, the head coach of Catholic, what he told me, was a couple weeks ago. Well, not a couple weeks ago, like back when Jamboree week, right? We were talking about speaking of the Jamboree week when they played against Madison Prep. It was literally the day before they played Madison Prep, and I interviewed him for the preview article I did in the Catholic, and the thing he said was like, we have 3 different seasons. We have non-district, the non-district season, district, and then the playoffs. Right, and that that's how it goes. I mean, that's really what it is. Especially if you're a program like a big time program like a Madison Prep or a Catholic or a Central. I mean, you name some of the top programs in the state. They're going to have a harder non-district schedule because it's hard to find teams, right?
Yeah,
right. Nobody wants to play you if you nobody wants to play a team that they already know they're going to lose to. Right,
district, so you got no choice. It's whoever's in your district. I mean, you got no choice. No choice there. But non-district, I mean, a lot of these top teams have to play tough teams, and even though it might result in a couple more losses, it's going to help you down the road. I think Jimmy Zachary even said this too. Grant is like we don't care about going 10-0. We don't care about going 10-0. We want to win state championships. And sometimes you're going to have to take your lumps, play those teams. It'll be a good measuring stick for your program, playing those teams, and find a way to win those games or down the stretch, even though you might take a couple of losses. But the most important goal, like Jimmy Zachary said, is to win state championships. And sometimes you might have to afford 2 or 3 losses in order to accomplish your goal at the end of the year.
By the way, it's also official that Franklinton is the district champions after they won tonight.
They are.
Yeah, Congratulations to Nick Saltaformaggio and the Franklinton Demons on the season that is ended in success. I mean, what a job that he's done at the program. There's a lot. He's not the only one. I mean, talking about we talk about East Jefferson, which is the school that Saltaformaggio's at. Talk about Brian Glover, Jesse Turner, and Covenant Christian. They won again. They're 9-0.
Coach. Yeah,
they have a hell of a chance to finish the regular season undefeated. Haynes Academy. The job Penn Powell's done with that program, a school that is known for its academics. Next week, he has a great chance of leading this team to a 10-0 perfect season after they beat Patrick Taylor 66-26.
Yeah,
big time coaching jobs, and we talk about like teams that we didn't expect to be this way, and those are three really good examples of how coaches turn around these programs. But Jace, I want to talk about another game. This is a game that I went to. Let's talk about this game before we get to your game because, it was a crazy ending, and I kind of explained why I had to eat that horrible Reese's peanut butter ice cream that I thought was really good, and I kept eating it. I'm like, oh, this is horrible. This is dog crap. I mean, it was bad, but
a lot of times you eat stuff and like it tastes much better than what it really is because how hungry you are sometimes. It's like you're desperate for something, so like. It tastes a lot better than what you think.
Oh yeah, Jace. You're so what was that Snickers commercial? Like, what was
you're hungry?
Yeah, you're not you when you're hungry. I wasn't hungry. I was just my head hurts. I'm like, Damn, I want to eat something cold. Maybe I just grabbed I should have grabbed the half baked Ben and Jerry's because I actually really like that. I'm a gooner. I'm a straight gooner for
Mhm.
Ben and Jerry's. I just go, I love Ben and Jerry's. Shout out Ben and Jerry's. But anyway, just done with enough talking about the ice. Let's talk about the game I went to, and that
Mhm.
was Mandeville and St. Paul's.
Yeah.
This was a game that I had circled on my calendar for a very long time. This was a game that before the season, what I do is I like to go through the schedule and look at games where this is the game we're going to go to. Because there's a lot of great games that happen week to
Yeah.
week, and I knew it was on the same weekend as Curtis and Carr. And it's on the weekend a lot of good games, but I'm like thinking to myself like, this game, I don't know what it is about this game, but this game, I have to go to this game. I don't know why, and I even told myself I'm going to go to this game before. And then this is before Nate Shepard got hurt.
Yeah.
And then when I found out Nate Shepard was hurt for this game, that's I'm talking about the running back for Mandeville. I was like, no, I'm still going to go to this game. I don't know why, but I'm still going to go to this game because these are two really good programs, man. These are really two good programs, well coached. Craig Jones has done a great job, not only with this Mandeville program, but the job he did in the past with Lakeshore, making them state title contenders year in and year out. That was a pretty new program at Lakeshore. I don't think people realize how young that program really is. He led Mandeville to the semifinals last year. This year they were undefeated. They entered this game 8-0, and despite losing Nate Shepard for the year. By the way, they did actually celebrate because it's senior night, so they did celebrate. His accomplishments. He's he's the leading rusher in the school's history. He might be considered the greatest player in the school's history. I mean, if you want to put it that far. I mean, there's been some good players that come out of Mandeville, but he might be the most celebrated one that's coming out of that program. But their backup running back, Isaiah Bayham, he's a dude too. Like a lot of people don't realize this. And remember, Jace, we were covering this last year in the playoffs, where he and Nate Shepard would both have 100 yards in the game. I mean, it was incredible what they were doing last year. Yeah. And so I think a lot of people don't realize how people forget how good of a running back Isaiah Bayham really is because he's kind of he's overshadowed by Nate Shepard, and Nate Shepard's one of the greatest players to ever come out, not only out of the Mandeville High School, probably the North Shore in general, right? And remember, his older brother's also a very good player too.
Yeah, he's a program great for sure. His brother Will Shepard and Michael Monty was a great player too at Mandeville.
What's his name? Landon Ibieta.
Was a great player at Mandeville.
There's some good. They had some really good players to come out of Mandeville in recent times.
Kickers come out of there too. So they've had some talent.
Definitely, Jace, and but Isaiah Bayham, and this is what Isaiah Bayham. This is what Kenny Sears. Not I'm talking about his dad. I'm talking about his son, right? I'm talking about Ken Sears III, the offensive coordinator. That just basically, he might be the head coach one day at St. Paul's. Probably will. But he told me after the game that Isaiah Bayham is just an inch away from what Nate Shepard is.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot, right? Because he said, Nate Shepard's in the game, some of the runs he may have broken free for a long touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't matter because Isaiah Bayham was they could not stop him. He ran for over I know he reached 230. I wonder if he got to 250, but he had 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he went off in that game. And he was a huge reason why Mandeville, even Mandeville, remember. So actually, before I get to all that, let me talk about the game. So Mandeville got. Let me pull up my notes. Where's my notes? Here we go. Oh my God. There we go. I gotta pull it out right here. Gotta get through all these notes. Here we go. So Mandeville. Did Mandeville score first? It was so Mandeville scored first. This is right after St. Paul's fumbled it, and Mandeville got the ball at their own 40-yard line. They're driving up the field. Isaiah Bayham got the ball every single time, but one play, which was a 5-yard pass play. by Ben Hendricks to, I don't have the roster on me, but it's in my phone. But anyway, yeah, besides that one pass play, he had the ball every single play, and he finished it off with a 10-yard touchdown. St. Paul's got the ball. They're driving down the field. It looked like they're about to score, but Mandeville's defense held strong. Drew Talley, which we'll also mention later in the show, not later in the show, but later in this thing we're talking about right now, the game they're talking about right now, he attempted a 40-yard field goal, but it was just short. 40-yard field goal was no good. Mandeville gets the ball back, but they get a quick 3-and-out. And this is when St. Paul's was starting to get it clicking on offense. They got clicking the last drive before they missed a field goal, but Brendan Keim looked like he was getting a little bit more comfortable, and that's what happened. St. Paul's Brendan Keim completed a 25-yard pass to Stone Celestin. Then he completed a 26-yard pass to Chachere and Jace, who was the tight end for St. Paul's, and then a couple plays later, Cody Corral scores on a 4-yard touchdown to tie the game. Then Mandeville gets the ball back, driving down the field. They get to about the 21-yard line, and they have to kick the field goal. Creighton Wilbanks, who's Southern Miss commit, he's one of the top kickers in the country, not only in the area but in the country.
It's a kicking battle already.
But guess what? He missed the 38-yard field goal, and that shocked me. It shocked everyone the same because it was everyone thought it was going to be sure thing that he was going to make it. But it was wide left, and he retired 7-7. That play will come back to, and we'll talk about the game more, but that field goal changed the momentum of the game. If you really think about it, consider how the score ended. But you get to the second half. St. Paul's, they get the ball at they get the ball at their 45-yard line after a really good kickoff return, and then all of a sudden being chased. Brendan Keim completes a pass to. Where's the roster? I had the. Oh, here we go. On the roster, so it was. Oh, okay. Sam Bonaldi. And Sam Bonaldi had some big time catches too. Sam Bonaldi had a 21-yard pass for first down. Then the next play, there's a face mask, so they get extra 15 yards. Then Brendan Keim has a 14-yard run. Then a couple more runs with Cody Krause for 4 and 3 yards, and then Brendan finished it off with a 1-yard touchdown run for the Wolves to take the lead. And then a couple drives later, it's kind of Mandeville gets the ball back, but it's a quick 3-and-out. Then this is where I thought the game was getting out of hand, right? St. Paul, they get the ball at the 6-yard line after a great punt by Creighton Wilbanks to put him deep. St. Paul's, Brendan Keim goes on the center. He runs a play action. Then he finds Brendan Billa wide open, streaking down the field for a 94-yard touchdown. Yep. So for St. Paul's to take the lead. The play action was really killing Mandeville in the second half. It really, Brendan Keim was a huge difference in this game. They needed him to play well in this game because they needed help because they weren't running the ball as well as they wanted to. So they really needed the game of him because Mandeville was really good at stopping the run. And that's one of those plays, 94-yard touchdown. Mandeville gets the ball back. Then they drive the ball down the field pretty good. They get to St. Paul's 28-yard line, but then they fumble. And then St. Paul's gets the ball back, and then 3 or 4 plays later, they fumble. Then Mandeville gets the ball at St. Paul's 46-yard line. And you get a 16-yard pass from Ben Hendricks to number 80, Luke DeMello. He had a great game as a sophomore. He was also the guy who made the 6-yard catch earlier that, I was trying to look for the roster and everything. Yeah. But he made the big time catch for a first down. And then the next play, Isaiah Bayham runs it in for 30 yards. They make the game 20-14. Then St. Paul's gets the ball back. Then, there's 2-yard run by Cody Krause, 10-yard run by Chase Revane, who they use him as a fullback a lot. And then, it was 2nd and 15. And, it was, in Mandeville, the crowd was getting into it. Then Bain, Brendan Kahn throws a 57-yard pass to Sam Benaldi, another big-time catch for the tight end, fullback, H-back, whatever you want to call him. He's been making plays. He was making big plays for the Wolves all game. And then St. Paul's was able to finish it off with a 2-yard quarterback sneak for Brendan Kahn a few plays later. And this is when the game gets really interesting. It looks like St. Paul's has the game out of reach, but by 2 touchdowns. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. I mean, it's the beginning of the fourth quarter, right? And they're kicking on all cylinders. Brendan Kahn throwing dimes all game. But then Mandeville, something happened. But Isaiah Bayham, they couldn't stop him. So the Mandeville gets the ball back. The first play of the game is a 14-yard pass from Ben Hendricks to Jake Giacchetti, who was making another sophomore as well. There's a lot of sophomores on this Mandeville team that played a lot, especially the receiver in the receiving core. But Jake Giacchetti made a great catch on the boundaries for a first down. They just keep feeding the ball to Isaiah Bayham, keep feeding him, and they get all the way down to St. Paul's 1-yard line, and that's when Ben Hendricks sneaks in for 1 yard. And that's when the crowd really started getting into it. It was loud. It was really loud. I actually told Ken on the radio, because I got to call in, to update the game. And I was like, I was going to explain what's happening, blah, blah. I was like, Ken, I cannot hear, I can barely hear you. I can barely hear you guys. So that's why I'm yelling in the phone, because it was loud. Man, that environment was probably the best environment I had been in since I've been covering high school football in Louisiana.
Yeah.
That was easily by far the best environment I've been in.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of really good environments. That was by far the best environment, period. Right?
Yeah.
It's great showing, but not only by Mandeville, but also St. Paul's as well. St. Paul's came out, the stadium was packed. The stadium was really packed. It was a great environment. Great environment. But Mandeville's defense finally stops them. Mandeville's defense forces St. Paul to a quick 3 and out, 3 straight incomplete passes. Mandeville gets the ball back at St. Paul's 45-yard line. Then just keep feeding the ball Isaiah Bayham. 13-yard run, 70-yard run. Then but then they finally stop Isaiah Bayham. Negative 2-yard run. But then a 9-yard pass followed by a 15-yard penalty leads Mandeville to get to the 6-yard line. And now it's finished off by a 6-yard touchdown pass from Ben Hendricks to Jake Giacchetti to give Mandeville the lead, right?
Yeah.
And this is where, I'll say this. There's a difference between a great team, and a program. And these are 2 really good programs.
Oh, yeah.
St. Paul's had the ball last. They've been killing all. I know they've been stopped the last couple of drives, but they're gonna find ways to win. And they got a veteran quarterback in Brendan Kahn. And this is what happens: 3-yard run, 12-yard run, a 3 and a 12-yard run by Cody Corrales. Then they kind of issue running the ball. They go to Corrales on the third play of the drive, a run for no gain. Chase Revane gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage for a 1-yard run. And third down, it was a incomplete pass. So on 4th and 8, Brendan Kahn completes a 9-yard pass, completes the pass to Brendan Villa. Brendan Villa looks like he got stuffed right before the line, but then he kept spinning around, kept fighting, and barely got the first down. And then a couple plays later, 24-yard pass from Brendan Kahn to Stone Celeste, who Stone Celeste made a great catch on the boundary. Yeah. Awesome catch. And that set them up
in a bowl game. That's great.
Yep. And he made a great catch to set them up at field goal range. Drew Talley is a hell of a kicker. He has great range. He nearly got a 40-yard field goal, but it just fell short. And he can kick from 50. I've seen him kick before. He can kick from 50.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes in high school, if you don't, the holders aren't really the greatest. Sometimes they're not like professional holders like they are at the college level, where they got scholarships to like Whole kicks. Yes, you can get
Just ask
scholarships.
John F. Kennedy. Just ask
Yeah.
Jay how much his range is.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, and so he gets in field goal range. So they run the ball a few more plays, and then with 3 seconds left, Drew Talley nails a 21-yard field goal for St. Paul's to win 30-28. Next week they'll play Covington. If they win that game, they will be the outright district champions.
How about that?
If they do not beat Covington, it will be a 3-way tie for first place in that district. And so Jason, I mean, this is a huge win for the Wolves of St. Paul's.
Yeah.
Just huge win.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely helps them on the power range because Mandeville is 8-1. They've played some really good teams. They play U High. They play Covington. So they play some really good teams. The only and so the more team. Not only it's the teams you beat, but let's say you lose against a team, right? And that team keeps on winning. It only helps you on the power range as well too. It's about opponents' wins and loss record as well. So Jace, talk about to kind of react to what I just said, and then also, and then after you do that, talk about the Episcopal Dome. I know I'm not sure there was really much to talk about because of the rain, but you saw a few things in that game.
Yeah, sure, Grant. My reaction to that was, you definitely picked a more exciting game of the two. But I mean, what incredible ending! And like I said, I mean, on earlier one of your shows that Covington was for 1 week the biggest St. Paul's fans for just 1 week, right? And now they get to play them next week, so they can get that opportunity to have a 3-way tie in the district. But St. Paul's, I mean, what a game! I mean, Drew Talley is the real deal. I know Alex was telling me that he kicked when he was covering the game earlier this year against John Kennedy, and he hit a long field goal. I think it was like 56 yards or something like that. It was a long field goal that he drilled. And Brennan Kime, we got a chance to work with Brennan in the offseason. Stone as well. You mentioned Stone a couple of times too. Gridiron Football League Camp Series, and they have pretty good chemistry with each other, and it showed in this football game. And Brennan had himself. He probably, I would say, maybe his best performance. I mean, he's got efficient performances this year, but in that spot for a chance to win the district championship, I mean, that probably is his best performance. If you think about,
I think he's probably definitely had the biggest leap of any quarterback, not only in the New Orleans area, but just in the state in general. I mean, he's really improved his game. I mean, over the 1 year. I mean, that was the thing about he was always afraid to make mistakes last year. He's always worked. He wasn't really reading the defense. And he told me that himself, right? It's not what I'm saying. He also told me this himself. And he's really worked on his skill sets. He worked a lot with the receivers over the offseason, and you're seeing that in full display this season. He's been awesome this year. He's been a huge reason why St. Paul's gotten to where they're at, and they needed him to, right? Because St. Paul's, of course, they want to run the ball. They've been known for running the ball the past couple of years because Brennan wasn't really there yet as a quarterback. But now Brennan is there. He's that guy. He's been that guy since the beginning of the year. And I think, the way he's been playing, that would definitely help him out in the playoffs because, you're going to need multiple ways to beat teams. And, and the Wolves know that. Everyone on that team knows that. So shout out to Brennan Kahn for the season he's had. Jace, you had another big time game. You covered Episcopal and Dunham. That's always been a big rivalry in the Baton Rouge area. This is number 1 versus number 2 versus number 3 in Division 3 select power ratings. Dunham won 18-0. What can you tell us about that game?
It wasn't a friendly game for Mother Nature. I can tell you that from Mother Nature. It was pouring down, raining. It was over at the Dunham's Field behind the Chapel of the Oaks, and it was pouring, raining. I mean, field conditions not good. Scoreboard wasn't even on. Like we didn't even know like what the time was on the clock. Like we heard from the PA every now and then how much was left in the clock in the quarter, and it was like, oh, in a quarter. Oh, okay. I guess it's the end of the quarter then. So we didn't know what the clock was, but you knew like calling Episcopal games and calling for VSN. This is Episcopal since I've been doing it for 4 years. this is Episcopal's best defense I've seen. And they did a good job. I mean, there's so much you can do against the number one quarterback in the 2027 class in Elijah Haven, and for the most part, really shut him down for the most part. But Elijah Haven had 3 rushing touchdowns, all from short yardage, uh, and that was pretty much it. Offensively, the first half it was scoreless. The only difference in that first half was it was a punt return for Jerome Harris. Jerome Harris had a nice punt return that set up the Tigers inside the 10-yard line, and from there, that's when Elijah Haven took it to the right side and found his way into the end zone. But that was your score at halftime. That was the only really difference from both teams in the first half was basically one play. It's 6-0 Dunham, and then you go into the second half of play, and at the end of the third quarter, you go through a whole third quarter. It's scoreless. You enter the fourth quarter, it's still 6-0. Episcopal's defense did a great job of containing Elijah Haven. With the weather, it was tough to get any footing. It was tough to throw the football. Really, Dunham was calling for a lot of quarterback runs from Elijah Haven in the second half, probably through the entirety of the game. They called a lot of quarterback runs for Elijah Haven, and Episcopal just could not do anything offensively. They tried doing a couple of wrinkles. They had some issues holding on to the football. In fact, that's what really set the game open for Dunham to take control. Episcopal was running a misdirection play, which they do a whole lot in their offense. There was a fumble in the play. Dunham recovered at the 5-yard line. That led to the second rushing touchdown by Elijah Haven. At that point, it's 12-0. But in this game, Grant, one touchdown, even though it's 6 points, in this game, it feels like 20 points, considering how both good the defenses are. And Dunham's defense is really good, too. These are 2 really good defenses. And you add that with the weather and the bad field conditions, like it was going to be hard to score points that night. And when Dunham was able to get that second touchdown, put them up 12-0, you knew it was pretty much the end. Episcopal, Zach Hugh throws a pick on the next drive, and then Elijah Haven scores again, and that was a dagger. And Dunham wins 18-0. Great performance from Dunham. They deserve to win the football game. Both defenses were phenomenal. Both defenses deserve to win that football game. It's just Dunham's offense was able to generate just a little bit more to get the Tigers their third straight district championship over the Knights. And Dunham's having a great season. 9-0, have a chance to go 10-0 in the next regular season game. So it sets up pretty good for the Dunham Tigers. Congratulations, Coach Warner. Elijah Haven, the whole Dunham Tigers football team. We talk about Elijah Haven a whole lot. He deserves his credit. I mean, he is that good. But this team has a great defense. They're a gritty, tough football team. They're not a finesse team. They may have the number one quarterback in the country, but make no mistake about it, that is not a finesse football team. They're going to punch you in the mouth. They play with great physicality. Great physicality on the defensive side as well. They're going to win a lot of football games. Elijah Haven's going to be a part of it, but it's because this team is a tough, gritty team. I talked to Elijah and some of his teammates after the football game, and I can tell those tough wins in the early part of the year against Ascension Catholic, against St. Charles Catholic in the early part of the year have really helped and prepared Dunham for that moment to get that district championship. But 18-0 was your final score, and the Dunham Tigers for the third straight year in a row will have bragging rights over the Episcopal Knights with the win. So congratulations, Coach Warner and company, on the big win.
Yeah, and this is something they expect to win, but they expect to win against Episcopal. And then that's who Dunham is. Dunham has been 2 years ago they won the state title. I know last year they lost, I believe it was the second round to Parkview. And that was a tough loss for them. This year they're all older. A lot of them are older now. Of course, some of these players were actually on the field in that state championship game, and some of the seniors, Trevor Heyman. And there's a couple of Trevor Heyman, Greg Morgan. There's a couple of the guys who were on the team from the 2022 state runner-up team, and then they also added some players as well. I know Jerome Harris was supposed to be like their big-time running back, along with Colin Piku, but he was lost for the year due to an ACL tear. But then they also added what's the guy's name?
Jarvis
Receiver.
Washington.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. From Madison Prep. He transferred over from Madison Prep. So
Yep.
they've added some key guys as well. So this is a very dangerous Dunham team. A huge 18-0 victory for Episcopal in the rain. So who knows how bad that game would have been without the rain, right? I mean, that's kind of what you got to think about too. Because Episcopal, Dunham's
like I
had
told you, like if Episcopal had a great chance at it, it was going to be an ugly type of game like this. And it just shows you that Dunham was just a better team tonight. But Episcopal, it doesn't take away anything. You got to think about it. I mean, no matter what the rain, the weather conditions and the rain conditions, the whole Dunham and Elijah Haven to 18 points, and really, you think about it, all those touchdowns were off of turnovers, special teams plays. Dunham's offense was already set up inside the 10-yard line when they gave up those 3 touchdowns. So it's just one of those things. I mean, 2 of them were off of interceptions. One of them, 2 of them were off of turnovers, and the first one was set up because of a great punt return. You take those 3 plays away, Grant, it's scoreless. So it shows you how much of a defensive battle it was, and I may still be over there right now, Graham, because it was tough. It was tough to move the ball for both teams. I knew it could potentially be that way with how good these defenses are, but especially with the weather, it definitely put a wrench into that too.
Oh yeah, most definitely, Jason. That's another big time win for that Dunham program. But Jace, now it's time. Let's go over the scoreboard. Once again, the scoreboard is brought to you by Chris City Sports, which is the company that I write for. They all on the website. Not only we find a great articles, but you can find the Louisiana Prep scoreboard. If you ever want to check out how a team is doing across the state or in your area, go to CrescentCitySports.com. And they will have the score for you up there. Jude does a great job of trying to update as many games as possible. Remember, this is, over 150, 125, 130 games that are being played on Friday night. So, there's it takes a lot to keep updating this score. Some of these scores might not still be even up here just because it's hard to keep track of what's going on across the state, just in general. So Jude does a great job trying to update the scores. If a score hasn't been updated, me and Jason are going to check in on it on Twitter. But once again, CrescentCitySports.com, where you can find some of the best information about prep sports, not only New Orleans area, but across the state, but also the Saints, Pelicans, LSU, Tulane, and you name it. But Jason, let's get it going. Starting off the top, we already mentioned this earlier. Haynes Academy defeated Patrick Taylor 66-26. They remain undefeated. East Jefferson defeated Riverdale 20-13. And something I also wanted to mention earlier that I forgot to was that Clarence Foster's also done a great job with that Riverdale program.
He has.
They're a game away. They're literally a fumble recovery for a touch, a scoop and score away from winning the district title. So shout out to
John Air for the first time too.
Yes.
That's saying a whole lot. Even though John Air is not having a good season, it's still a big win for that program.
Right. So. And if Riverdale would have won, it would have been their first district title in their schools in the program's history. So that's a lot about the job that Clarence Foster's done, and made these kids believe that they can accomplish anything that they want to accomplish if they truly believe in it. But Jace, we gotta move on. We can't get stuck in this one game because a lot of games we gotta talk.
If something sticks out, I might leave a comment. But go ahead and try.
Once again, if you leave a comment. Oh, here you go. Oh, Jordan gave us an update. I'm here. E-Route walk-off field goal off the buzzer. I just got the call.
E-Route. How about the season they're having too? The Bobcats having a great season. I think they're still. They might have lost. I think they've lost one game. Off the top of my head, but I think they're up there in the power rankings right now. Like top.
Yeah, they were the number one team in the division. No, they were like up there. I think weren't they Division 3 or Division 2?
Yeah, they're not number one. They're up there,
but they're like the top 4. I think.
Yeah, they're like top 3 or top 4 right now. Like they're having a great season.
Yeah, actually, Did we talk? I think we talked about that game a little bit. One of the games. I think we did. Maybe not. Oh, here we go. Wait, wrong week. Here you go. Yeah, Kaplan and Erath. So yeah, that was a huge
that's
game.
a big win. That's a huge
That's a
win.
big one. Yeah, it's a big win. So shout out the Bobcats at Erath for a huge walk-off field goal for the win.
17-14.
Yeah, shout out Jordan for giving us that update. Make sure to check out Under the Lights. They do a great job of covering high school football as well. Make sure to give them a shout out. And we probably need to get them on the show sometime soon.
Yeah,
so.
we need to get Jordan on.
Yep.
Yeah, we get the three amigos on it, right?
How many combinations of three amigos do we have? I mean,
like 150, but we still have pretty good combinations there.
Also, by the way, we're at 125 views right now. Shout out everybody's watching it from Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. So huge shout out to those everyone watching it. Also, like Jordan, don't feel afraid. Don't feel too worried about leaving a comment. Oh, by the way, yep, was some fun, great environment. Yep, I bet it was.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Erath has a great environment, probably one of the more underrated environments in the state.
And one more thing, getting Coach Loteef back at Kaplan, Tank Loteef back there. I mean, remember they were on the run when they went to the semifinals. Seemed like every year, so that was big getting back Coach Loteef with that program. So you see already the job that they're doing.
Yeah, no doubt, Jason. Jace, we got to keep going with this high school updates.
Yep.
If you guys have any things you want to say or ask, please feel free to don't feel like it doesn't matter how dumb or stupid or smart or intelligent the question or comment is. Please leave a comment and question. Me and Jace will answer it 100%. All right, so don't feel afraid to feel free to leave a comment or question. Once again, but Westminster Christian of I believe that's Lafayette or Opelousas. I don't know. There's too many.
Yeah, I believe that's Lafayette.
Is it Lafayette? Let me double check. Yeah, Opelousas. No, it's Westminster Christian of Opelousas.
Opelousas, okay.
Yeah. So 63-0 over North Central. Hamilton Christian defeated Maryville 47-14. Montgomery defeated Lakeview 50-20. St. Fred's defeated General Trask 40-0. So that's really impressive to hold these guys to 0 points considering the fact that they scored 82
points. And next week I believe Delta Charge got St. Frederick, I believe for the district championship. So
wow.
Yeah.
So Basile defeated Oberlin 26-0. Delhi defeated Tensas 44-0. Grand Lake defeated Elton 42-28. Elmo King Charter defeated Sarah T. Reed 26-18. Mangum defeated Rayville 34-0. Vinton defeated East Beauregard 41-0. Master Prep, we already talked about. Master Prep defeated UHI 14-6. Northwest defeated Crowley 49-0. Pine defeated 50-14.
Bogalusa.
Pine defeated Bogalusa 50-14 in a bounce-back victory for the Raiders after they lost 13-6 to Jules Sumner.
Yep.
Bastrop defeated Richwood 29-6. 35 defeated Frederick A. Douglass to win the district title for the second year in a row. Congratulations to Coach Dax and the Ron Eagles.
Yeah, congrats, Coach Dax. That's awesome. And the Ron Eagles won again.
Yep. Tioga defeated Grant 42-8. Go back to the screen. Iowa defeated LaGrange 36-0. Liberty defeated Scotlandville 18-6. East St. John picked up the first victory of the season. I can't believe I'm saying that, which is
week 9.
Week 9. That we have to talk about them winning the first game of the season. It's just been a tough year for Coach Brown and the Wildcats. Usually that program is usually in the district title race by now, but they've had a tough season. It happens. But they picked up the first victory of the year. Congratulations to the Wildcats and Coach Brown and the East St. John community.
Yep.
Newman defeated Newman defeated Country Day 42-7. St. Edmunds defeated Bolton Academy 61-0. St. Mary's defeated Northwood Lena 52-12. Riverside Academy defeated Barnado 56-0. Kentwood defeated Thrive Academy 42-6. Logansport defeated LaSalle 55-0. Lincoln Prep defeated Plain Dealing 40-0. Jonesboro Hodge defeated Glenbrook 30-29. Vermilion Catholic defeated Gate on 56-0. Did I pronounce that right?
Yep, you got it right.
Let's go. It says I've been just pronouncing that pretty much all year. The Ascension Episcopal defeated Westminster Christian Lafayette 45-0. Delta Charter defeated Block 38-0. Catholic Point Compete defeated Sacred Heart 31-12. They are still undefeated.
District
9-0.
champs too, I believe.
Yep.
I think I
District
clinched the
champs.
district championship as well. So first time since they went to the Superdome in 2019. So
Yep. Covenant
big deal.
Christian undefeated, still undefeated, 48-16
Yep.
over Centerville, 9-0. Central Catholic defeated Jeanneret 28-8.
Mhm.
The Tigers have lost 2 in a row now after starting the season. I believe they started the season 7-1. Now they've lost 2 games in a row. 6-1. Now they've lost 2 games in a row. The Tigers didn't get they didn't get something going right before the playoffs because because all this is playoff time, and you gotta get your heads right and you stay locked in. But another tough loss for the Tigers Jeanneret as they lose to Central Catholic 28-8. Southern Lab defeated Central Private 50-7. West St. John defeated Crescent City Christian 70-0. North Iberville defeated East Iberville 32-6. Central Catholic defeated White Castle 47-6. St. John defeated Ascension Christian 43-0. North Lake Christian defeated St. Helena 20-14. Pickering defeated Ringgold 26-6. Red River defeated Winfield 50-6. South Plaquemines defeated Walter L. Cohen 41-6. Arcadia defeated Cedar Creek 14-12. Kinder defeated Port Barry 50-6. Notre Dame picked up a huge win over Lafayette Renaissance 48-34. Welsh defeated Lake Arthur 31-10. Mansfield defeated Lakeside 47-14. Oak Grove defeated Madison 42-14. Union Parish defeated Magnolia School of Excellence 35-0. Homer defeated North Cato 34-6. St. Thomas Aquinas defeated Independence 14-8. Northeast defeated Capital 34-0. Catholic New Iberia defeated West St. Mary 51-0. Homer Delcombe defeated Homer Christian 40-21. DeQuincy defeated Rosebine 49-6. Dunham Episcopal, game we talked about a little bit earlier, 18-0. The Tigers winning over the Knights. Washita Christian defeated Faraday 56-28. Laurelville defeated Franklin 34-14. St. James defeated Patterson 14-0. Philplot defeated Pine Prairie 42-0. Westlake defeated South Beauregard 41-20. Voiles defeated Oakdale 32-20. East Feliciana defeated Baker 6-0.
I think I was at the buzzer too. I think they won
Really?
like pretty much like near last play. Ryan Moore, I think, called a touchdown pass. With pretty much at the buzzer, I believe. It was a
wow.
crazy inning for East Louisiana.
Yep, big win for the Tigers. Delhi Charter defeated Beekman 28-22. Calvary Baptist defeated Green Oaks 48-8. St. Amant defeated Prairieville 21-0. North Webster defeated Manny 39-8. And the Tigers still remain winless for the year.
Yep.
Crazy fall for this program. Jace, how many times have you seen that? Where I know it happened to Evangel a couple years ago, but it wasn't even that wasn't
that fast.
On Manny.
Because they've had some decent seasons after they won the state championship in 2016, and then you saw the end around, I think it was around COVID. You saw them going towards 0-10 seasons, but I wasn't expecting. You were expecting somewhat of a drawback, but you didn't see anything like that, especially 0-10 potentially at Manny.
Yeah, just a crazy fall. The thing I was reading on Facebook, I saw some fans' reactions to it. Like, there's a lot of fans in the area, like they're just enjoying the downfall because of course Manny was bullying everybody, but there's also some fans who were kind of glad to see Manny fall because this, Chase, and a lot. And I think for people that don't know, Manny was one of the biggest reasons why we went to why we had to split. They're one of the main schools for it. So there's a lot of high school football fans in general that don't want to see Manny win because they're the ones that caused the split. So they're also celebrating this loss as well, celebrating their winless season as well. I'm not really celebrating anything like that. I can see why people are mad at Manny for those reasons, but to me, it's not enjoyable to see any program go 0-9, right? I mean, it's just not, especially a program like Manny, who's been good for a very long time.
No, I mean it's best when these programs that we're accustomed to winning a whole lot that they go and compete for state championships. I mean, you're talking about. I mean, early this season with getting St. All back on track, right? When these programs are great, it makes Louisiana high school football great. So yeah, you want to see Manny get back on track, especially that area. I mean, there's not a lot of teams, notable teams in that area as well that they're in that we talk about, as far as like state championship contenders, and Manny was one year in and year out that you can count on as far as like being at least in a running for it. I mean, when Jess was there, if they went 9-1 in the regular season, eight and
Yeah.
two, people would be freaking out, in the regular season. So, yeah, I mean, it's very shocking to see how May has felt this year for sure. And like East St. John, you just talk about them getting their first win of the season, but we're used to seeing East St. John was being involved and being in the running, whether for a district championship or maybe even a little bit of a playoff run. We've seen Brandon Brown's teams do that, and St. Charles Catholic. Even though they're picking it up a little bit towards the end of the season, these are all programs that we expect to be in the run every year.
Jace, Jordan left an interesting comment. Very surprised tonight was Franklin Parish's first Cheshire championship history. So shout out the Patriots for winning the cup, and shout out Coach Adrian Burnett for winning. Basically turning this program into a legitimate program. I mean, they went from a great team to becoming a program, and not only that, I think they have a great shot of advancing to the Dome. Remember, this team also beat Calvary Baptist to start the year, so they're going to be a wagon going to the playoffs. Also, you left an interesting comment. Local Sports head coach won his 100th career win. Yep, he's won his 100th career win.
Congratulations to Coach McGee. That's awesome. 100 wins tonight for him. That's awesome. Great man, great coach. So we're seeing a bunch of coaches this year, Grant, get those milestone wins. I mean, we've seen, I think, with Sid Edwards get 200 this year. I think Coach Weiner got 150. Dennis Dunn got 250. Like, we've seen a lot of those type of wins. So that's awesome.
Especially when Manny come off. You talk about Manny. Especially when Manny coming off a quarterfinals appearance a year ago. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, I've never seen.
They were pretty good last year still.
Right.
And that's Barrett's first year.
It's crazy how far that program has fallen. But also, Jordan did mention how many undefeated survived tonight. Well, we went through a couple, but Mandeville is the only one that I know of that fell tonight. I mean, unless you can think of another team that lost. I mean, it's really only been Mandeville. So far, Mandeville is the only team of note, that undefeated team of note that has.
Catholic was another.
Turling's Catholic, so that's two. So right now, that's two. Maybe there might be. Guess what? There might be some more that fall. Yeah, but I think those are the only two.
I think those, in fact, are the only two undefeated teams that have lost tonight. So I think you're down to 16. I think we had 18 entering the week.
Yeah.
So I think we're down to 16.
Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
See, I know Louisiana Sports Line posted it. I'll check it.
Yeah, I just looked at the graphic, actually, because I'm looking at the other teams, and I believe everybody else won except those two. So.
Yeah.
Except Mandeville and Turner's Catholic.
Yeah. So there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 teams left.
14. I think there were 16 left. So yeah.
There's 16, and then minus 2. Yeah, it's 14.
Yeah, so 14.
So yeah. Yep. So St. Martin's Episcopal defeated Glen Oaks 28-14. Parkview Baptist defeated Helix Mentorship Academy 23-0. Iota defeated Mamu 29-0. Jennings defeated St. Louis Catholic 56-3. Selfie B. Wright defeated Livingston Collegiate 28-20. That's a huge upset, actually, right there. I know you guys don't follow like New Orleans football so much, but Livingston College, I believe, going into this game was 5-2, and Sophie B. Wright was actually 2-5 going into this game. So that's a pretty big upset
Yeah,
in the New Orleans
Wilson's had some
area.
pretty good seasons too the last 2 years,
Yeah,
making the playoffs and winning the playoffs. So yeah, like that is a huge upset for Sophie Wright to get that
oh
win.
yeah, yeah. New Orleans public football. That's a pretty big upset considering the fact that
Yeah,
It's had a decent season this year and had some had some really good seasons the last couple few years. Coach Francois done a great job with the program.
yeah, he has.
But much ago, the head coach of Sophie Wright picked up a huge victory for this program. Let's see how they build off of that. Moving forward, Gina defeated Caldwell Parish 50-14. Sterlington defeated Carroll 34-7. Church Point defeated Holy Savior Menard 34-7. Port Island defeated Collegiate of Baton Rouge 43-0. Erath defeated Kaplan 17-14 off of a walk-off field goal to win the game. Buckeye defeated Marksville 30-8. Bunkie defeated Vidalia 54-6. St. Thomas More defeated Carolina's Catholic 48-34. Another big time win for the Cougars. The
Yeah.
offense is starting to click. Cole Bergeron is finally coming around. He's been coming around the last few weeks now. He's looking like the quarterback we all expected him to be. Huge win over the previously undefeated Carolina's Catholic Rebels. Jace, you take it away.
Yeah, that was a big win for St. Thomas More to get a win like that and to win in familiar fashion for this football team for really for Shane Savoy, Jim Hightower. I mean that whole coaching staff too. Big to get a win because these are the type of games we're used to seeing St. Thomas More win, putting a lot of yards in the air at the quarterback position, putting a lot of yards offensively, a lot of points offensively. We've been used to seeing St. Thomas More win a lot of shootouts. Now at the beginning of the year with this team, it was been more about the defense and then while the offense got settled. And I think right now, like we talked about Mass and Prep earlier in the show, they struggled a little bit in the non-district, but they played some tough teams. I mean, they played, they won, they beat Karen Crow. I know at the beginning of the year, they played Acadia, they played Catholic, they played Neville. I mean, they played three of the best teams in the entire state 3 weeks in a row. So entering district play, you knew that they would get back on track based on the competition they played, they have, and now this solidified that they are back. Really, Grant, because this was like their first really big win of the season. Again, a win over Trones Catholic, and what a way to have a win over an undefeated team in Trones Catholic and have that game as your district championship as well. So congratulations, Coach Hightower, Coach Savoy, and the whole St. Thomas More Cougars, Cougar Nation as well. Big time win for St. Thomas More. And when this offense is clicking, we saw the defense early in the year, Grant, as I was saying about you're going, the defense kind of carrying the way a little bit. If you combine that defense with how this offense is clicking right now, yeah, St. Thomas More will be dangerous when playoff time comes.
Oh yeah, no doubt, Jace. I mean, just like I said, I predicted the St.
Yeah,
Thomas More to
all
win this game. I just, I think just the way St. Thomas More is playing as we got to this point in the season, this is always a scary St. Thomas More to play with, especially when they're playing like this, or especially when they're locked in. I think if Trillians Catholic had played St. Thomas More early in the season, that would have been I think Trillians probably could have beaten St. Thomas More, but
yeah,
right now the way the Cougars are playing. And just, when they get like this, it's hard to beat them, especially at home. When
yeah,
you have to go to their stadium to play them, it's extremely tough place to play. There's a reason why they've been to the state championship, like the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's
yeah.
hard to win. It's hard to win there. It's hard to win there. It really is.
It
So
is
shout out to the Cougars, Coach Hightowers. In his who knows how many years he's been doing this now.
a long time.
A really long time. And it's hard, it's funny to say that too, is because it's funny because he's in the prime of his coaching career and he's near the end, which is kind of a crazy
Yeah,
way to end your
because
career, the prime.
it's crazy, Grant, because my senior year of high school at Catholic High, like it was kind of the same thing with Catholic High and St. Thomas More. Yeah, great programs. They go really far in the playoffs, but they haven't overcome the hump, right? They haven't won a state championship. But right at the same time, Catholic wins the state championship in 2015. And the game before that, because I remember being in the student section for that Catholic state championship, The game before that was St. Thomas More, as well, winning a state championship too. So that pretty much broke the ice as well. And for this program, I mean, Nate Cox was the quarterback that won that first state championship, and ever since then, I mean, Catholic's has just been winning a lot of state championships, and we see St. Thomas More. All they've done is just win a bunch of state championships since then. It took them a while to get there, but once they got there and once they figured it out, St. Thomas More was going to win a lot of state championships, and you've seen that with Coach Hightower. Like you said, probably it kind of reminds me of Tom Osborne at Nebraska. Like Tom Osborne took him a
Yeah,
whole
great example of that.
long time to win a national championship. Was winning a lot of games, had a lot of really good seasons, but it was towards the end when they finally got over that hump for him, winning national championships each and every year. So this is what that kind of reminds me of what Coach Hightower is doing at St. Thomas More.
Yeah, that's actually a great analogy, Josh. I'm like, that's a really good analogy. Bring up Tom Osborne. So yeah, I mean, um, and think about that. Like that '95 Nebraska team is considered to be one of the greatest of all time, along with 2019 LSU and 2001 Miami.
Mm-hmm.
How dominant were, and that was near the end of his career. So that's actually a great analogy, Jason. But also, Jordan brought a really good comment up. Bunky through 9 weeks have outscored their opponents 428 to 45.
Man, 428 to 45.
That's 5 points a game. That's 5 points a game.
Man, this Bunky football team I knew they were going to be good. I mean, you had a good idea too that they're going to be good as well, Grant. We knew they were going to be good. I didn't know or expect how dominant they would be this year. And man, we knew offensively. I mean, Dylan Compton, Kyle Johnson, Zion Lee at the linebacker position too. Like they got some players, but man, to dominate opponents like this. Yeah, Bunky is on a mission, and they're having a special season, a special year, and this definitely could be a team we can see in the Superdome by the end for sure. By the way they've been playing.
Yeah, no doubt, Jason. So let's go back to talk about going over the scoreboard. Painesville defeated the Willow School 56-13. St. Martinville defeated Abbeville 21-8. Jewel Sumner defeated Albany 34-0. Amy defeated Springfield 55-0. So that's going to set up the District 8 3/8 championship next week, which should be a good one. And that will be a game that me and Jason will talk about in our preview show.
Oh yeah,
next week. Donaldsonville defeated Berwick 40-0. North Vermilion defeated Rain 24-20. Westgate defeated Northside 42-28. West Washington defeated Peabody 33-27. Pearl River defeated Pope John Paul II 42-21. Vanderbilt Catholic defeated South Terrebonne 41-14. North Dakota defeated Loyola Prep 49-13. Letcher shut out another opponent.
Another shutout.
Morgan City 48-0. Northwood Shreveport defeated Minden 21-12. A huge victory for the
Falcons. That's a big win. Yeah, big win for Northwood.
Yep. Leesville defeated Eunice 42-15. Franklin Parish defeated Waspin 33-6. Franklinton defeated Loranger 28-21. Plaquemine defeated Sherman 36-8. St. Charles Catholic defeated Kenner Discovery 45-0.
One note there, that could be a district championship as well for the Plaquemine Green Devils as well. Again, that big win over Struma 36-8. So, could be a big district championship potentially for the Green Devils.
Yep. And and also speaking of district championship, St. Charles will play Shaw next week, and that will be for the district championship as well. Once again, St. Charles Catholic defeated Kenner Discovery 45-0. Cecilia defeated Livonia 44-0. Lake Charles College Prep defeated Como 47-9. DeRidder defeated Washington Marion 42-22. Archbishop Shaw defeated Belle Chase 54-7. E.D. White defeated Assumption 34-0. Terra defeated Bel Air 14-12. Booker T. Washington of Shreveport defeated Southwood. Southwood is still looking for his first win in over 5 years. Woodlawn of Shreveport defeated Bossier 40-14. Opelousas defeated Brobridge 40-0. Slaughter Community Charter defeated Broadmoor 10-0. Bruley defeated St. Michael the Archangel 44-6. Ruston defeated Pineville 49-0. Terrebonne defeated Thibodeau 46-17. South Lafourche defeated AJ Ellender 42-0. Eleanor McMahon defeated Aberson 28-16. I believe for the first win of their season. Let me double check that because I've called, whenever we do the scoreboard, they have not won a single game. Yes, in fact, that was their first win of the season. So congratulations to the Mustangs of McMain. Look, Lakeshore defeated Archbishop Hannon 48-14. We talked about this. St. Paul's defeated Mandeville 30-28. If you missed our conversation about it, the show will be up on YouTube, so you can go and rewatch the episode. Neville defeated West Monroe 27-14. North Shore defeated Fontainebleau 21-14 for their first win of the year. So that's another winless team that got their first win of the year. North Shore, after a huge upset victory over West Monroe in the first round, they've been really struggling this year, and a lot of that has to do with their schedule. They had a really tough non-district schedule, so for them to pick up the first win of the year over Fontainebleau is a pretty big accomplishment in a very disappointing season for the Panthers. Oh, by the way, what's Mandeville's ceiling without Shepherd? Ooh, that's a good one. With Shepherd, I think they're a semifinal team. I think without them, I think they are a quarterfinal team. They're still a very good team. They are still a very, very good team. I think Jordan, I mentioned earlier in the show that Kenny Sears, who is the son of head coach Ken Sears and is also the offensive coordinator, he told me after the game that Isaiah Bayham is just an inch below Shepherd. Remember, Isaiah Bayham was a huge part of their Cinderella run in the playoffs. A lot of times he even had some games where he may have been played better than Nate Shepherd, right? Like he went off last year. He had multiple 100-yard games last year. This is the second straight 200-plus yard game. So he's a very good back. He may not have the breakaway speed that Nate Shepherd has, but the ability is there. He's a very good running back. Just because Mandeville lost Nate Shepherd doesn't mean you should sleep on this Skipper football team. They're still a very good team. Not only that, they have Dylan Henry's a very good player. They got Marcus Zenon. He's another really good player in the defensive line. There's a lot of really good players at Mandeville. It's not a one-man show. This is a very good Mandeville team with a lot of players, and they're well coached by Craig Jones, who has won at Lakeshore and Mandeville. And I don't think you saw this for anybody who hasn't seen this, but Mandeville's getting ready to build a new athletic facility. It's going to look really nice. By the way, speaking of the athletic facility, and because the money's involved, Mandeville student section was chanting at St. Paul's, "Daddy's money," and I thought it was funny because it's like you guys are from Mandeville, like that's also Daddy's money. Like it was fun. It was funny, man. It was really funny. I actually like that, man. I like it when the student sections jab at each other, even though they're kind of talking about themselves at the same time, which is often ironic. It's it's the same thing with LSU. Like it's like, yeah, these fans are trash. I'm like, bro, we're also trash. We also acknowledge, yeah, we're pretty trash too. That's a good thing about these rivalry games, man. I love it, man. As a high school student, a guy used to be on the field and playing. And we just go against our crosstown rivals. It was always a very fun experience to see the student sections go at each other. Actually, my senior year, we went to go play our crosstown rivals, Los Lomas. By the way, I went to high school out in California. I'm from here, but my dad's job, like we lived all over the place. So I went to high school in California. Our rival high school is Los Lomas, and there's student section at the start of the second half of Shane. North, like you guys, you killed Harambe, because this is around the time where Harambe was a big meme. It was like, Mike, you guys are losing 35-14. You're chanting about a dead gorilla, bro. Come on.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
So it's like, I love this section, man. Like, it was all fun games. Like, because obviously St. Paul's knows, like, oh yeah, we go to St. Paul's, we have to pay our way into school, and Mandeville also knows, yeah, we live in Mandeville, like, that's also different.
Dunham student section was chanting scoreboard. Like we can't look at the scoreboard; it's not even on. So that happened tonight. I'm like,
yeah,
I can chant scoreboard, but like it's not even on. You can't even look at the scoreboard. So yeah. But one more thing about Jordan, what Jordan said. I mean, I saw this team one time with you. Now this was before the regular season started, but Isaiah Bayham, we did see him. He actually went to one of our camps this all
Mhm.
season. Went to the Covenant camp
Yeah.
for Gridiron football, and we were impressed with his speed. And we knew he was a really good athlete, good player. Like Grant said, was a part of that great semifinal run last year, and this is a good team overall. Now I think this is still a quarterfinal team. I still think
Yes.
without Nate Shepard, this is a quarterfinal team. I think what this is going to hurt this team is once you get into that territory, quarterfinal, semifinal game. I think not having Nate Shepard out there, I think he's the difference from you maybe making the semifinals or Superdome, or making the quarterfinals, just playing the quarterfinals. I think that's when you're going to feel his presence a little bit.
Right, especially considering the fact that a large part of their playoff run last year was because they used both guys, right? So you're
Yeah.
gonna have to rely a whole lot on Isaiah Bayham, which is something he's probably never experienced before throughout his high school career because he's also had Nate Shepard also taking carries as well.
Yeah.
And if you look at his yardage, like he didn't really have much uh yardage at the beginning of the year because obviously because Nate was
Tearing it up.
making history. He was making history. Every
Yeah.
game he played was making history. So you know,
7 touchdowns every game.
right. Yeah, I mean, exactly. So now we get to see what Isaiah Bayham's all about, and I think this is a huge stretch for him. Not only for just publicity, but also maybe a shot at playing at the next level, wherever that may be.
And,
Um,
Grant, one more thing before we move on. This will kinda reminds me of when, Clyde Edwards-Helaire got hurt for Catholic, and this
mhm,
was part of their state championship run when they won the first state championship. He got hurt, and James Berrigan, the backup, came in, and James Berrigan went on a run for 2, 3 games.
yeah,
And he was the hero during that playoff run. Isaiah Bayham can have that type of impact on the playoff run, especially he's a senior, like you mentioned, and we talk about Nate Shepard a whole lot, but this could be the opportunity. This is Isaiah's time to shine. He's shown that, even though it was a loss tonight, but he could have a special. He can have his mark in Mandeville football war, especially to make a deep playoff run.
no, yeah, definitely, Jace. But yeah, let's go, continue on with the scoreboard. Neville defeated West Monroe 27-14. So that was set up their big time matchup with Alexandria next week, and what should be the game of the weekend
Arguably,
for week
arguably of the
10
year too. I mean, you can make a
of the
case.
year. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. 9 and
Yep.
0 state. I mean, probably the toughest. I mean, you can make an argument. I mean, along with the Catholic League, toughest district in the state on the
Yep.
line. So that could arguably be the game of the year we talk about next week.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Jace. Great point. North Shore defeated Fontainebleau 21-14. Hammond defeated Salmon 19-14. St. Aug defeated Holy Cross 18-13 to make it two straight for the Purple Knights. Huntington defeated Natchitoches Central 36-25. John Eyre defeated LW Higgins 41-27. Lafayette defeated New Iberia 42-34. Central defeated Zachary 14-3. A big time win for this Central Wildcat team. Some people may say that's an upset. To me, it's not. Central to me was
No,
the bet. It's the better team. I said that at the beginning of the year. I said they're right there with Catholic for a district title. I think they're the second team, and the Zachary's right after them. It's just because I think Zachary is still a year away, right? I think they're a younger team. They're still a very good team, but I just think that they're a little bit on the younger side in terms of what they're not what we. This Zachary's still a very good team. Obviously they have a great program over there, but they're not what we're accustomed to seeing out of this Zachary program. Jace, you there?
oh yeah, just saying. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like really,
Making
if
sure, I was
this
just making sure. Hey, I was just making sure that like the Wi-Fi wasn't on and everything
no,
like
we're
that.
good. We're good. I heard
Right.
you. Yeah, for this game, Grant. I mean, I'm not shocked either. I would have been a little bit worried if I was Central if this was right after the Catholic game because they did have a little bit of a letdown against Liberty, and they were
Mhm.
able to overcome it, but they only won 35-20. But knowing that they had that week acclimation period, when you have that letdown game and to prepare for Zachary again. Like you said on the previous show, I think Central wanted to show why they were heavily talked about at the beginning of the year. like we were hyping them up. And Central got a big win, 14-3 over Zachary. And what this means going forward is if Catholic just takes care of business against Zachary on Thursday, that means Catholic is the district champions. And yeah, but big win for Central. And this definitely reaffirms what we thought of them at the beginning of the season, and that Catholic game was just an outlier, is what that really proved.
Yeah, I mean that's a very good, very good Catholic team, of course. I mean I think Central just played him at the wrong time. There's around the time where Catholic gets really hot, and Coach Semino knows that. I mean, he was the head coach of Catholic. He knows what it's like to be over there and the expectations and everything like that. So he knows it's around the time when they get hot. I just think Central as a program is getting closer and closer to where they want to be into competing with Catholic year in year out. But I just don't think this was the year. Huge win. But once again, a huge win for Central over Zachary. Because if you want, you want to see where you're at as a program, right? And obviously, Central's going in the right direction. And I think this win over Zachary is kind of giving you an idea where they're at as a program. I mean, you beat a team like Zachary, who's won 4 state championships in I would say a little over the last 10 years. And to beat them soundly 14-3. It's a pretty solid win for the Central program.
It's reaffirmation. It is for Central. It's reaffirmation. Like saying, okay, we can be this program. We can be this program. We can be a Catholic. We can be a Zachary. And by defeating Zachary, it just reaffirms that.
Right, and then also just the fact that I don't know, I lost my train of thought before you said something, but it's just the fact that Central was always seen as a program like, okay, this could be a program that could do a lot of really good things if they did this, and this, and but they really have been an underachieving program, right? I mean, that's kind of what Central's been, because they've always had the talent, they've always had the money, then that because to get the right resources to make it a program. It's just that they're really underachieved. They hired some big time coaches before. I mean, remember, also hired Sid Edwards. It just didn't work out. I mean, they've had the resources to be a really good program. It's just they never really gotten over the hump. But with Semino being over there,
some decent seasons with Sid. They've had some decent seasons, but to your point, like they haven't been just consistently you haven't felt them as a program. So and this is what they're trying to do.
Right, and and especially they really had to do a whole lot to poach Semino from Catholic. I mean, they had to do a whole lot. So the fact they were able to do that just shows you how serious they are about what they want to be as a program, and it showed that with a 14-3 win over Zachary. It's Semino's second only year at Central, right? This is not like his 5th or 6th year. This is second year only. This is second year at Central. Yeah,
probably his second biggest win at Central, behind Neville.
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Yes. I mean, as a coach at Central, that was probably the second biggest win he's had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a great point, Jason. Huge win for Central over Zachary, 14-3. H.W. Bourgeois defeated Central Lafourche 23-22. Chalmette defeated Slidell 31-21, which Logan Graffier was at that game, so he'll probably give you a little detail on it with balling in the boot. And I have to say this right now, Jace. I have to say it. I said it before. You probably know what's coming, but I think Protected Boot was a better name.
I knew it was coming.
You guys told me I can't use that name anymore because you guys had it, and then you changed it to Ball in the Boot. What the hell? What? Look how they massacred my boy. I'm joking. It's a good name. It's a good name. It's just not Protect the Boot. That's all. But anyway, the cover.
But we didn't want to because it was basically your deal.
That's true, but you could have kept it going, Jace. You're my guy.
Yeah, I could.
I get it. It's been nostalgia. It would be hard. It's hard. It's hard.
I'll just be thinking of you, Grant, every time. I'll just be thinking of you.
Yeah.
As I Protect the Boot. So.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. But Covington defeated Ponchatoula 33-9, as we mentioned. That win set up their district title game against Covington, which will be another great atmosphere in this St. Tammany Parish. Just like St. Paul's and Manitou was a big time rivalry. Covington can chant daddy's money. Now, I'm not saying Covington's not important. Covington has some money too, but there's a sharp contrast between Covington High School and St. Paul's High School more so than Mandeville and St. Paul's. That's gonna be an excellent environment. I believe that game's at St. Paul's. If I
I
remember
found it
correctly.
interesting. I said earlier about like Covington having to cheer on St. Paul's to have them this chance to be a
It will
three-way.
be. It will be at Covington. It will be at
They'll
Covington.
be
Yeah.
at Covington. So I find it funny that they had to cheer on St. Paul's that have this type of game, and now they're like, okay, now we got to beat you down. So
Yeah.
so we get a three-way tie in the district. So that's an interesting dilemma right there with Covington. And quietly, Coach Salter and the Lions have had a pretty good season. So I mean,
Yes.
for them to tie the district with those two teams, with Mandeville and St. Paul's, like that's a pretty good year considering how good those two teams are.
Yeah. Yeah. Great point, Jason. I mean, they've been one of the biggest sleepers, in my opinion, in
Yeah.
the New Orleans area, despite the great year. And remember, they nearly beat Mandeville. They only lost by 2 points to Mandeville. So, and that was really Mandeville's first big scare that they've had all year. Coach Salter's done a great job with this line team this year. They've got a lot of really good players, and they have a big time matchup with St. Paul's next week, which I think it will be a game I'll be at next week. Once again, I'll probably be going to St. Tammany Parish to go watch a big time football game. But anyway,
St. Tammany Parish. That's a good year for St. Tammany Parish.
Yep, definitely. And like I said, if you've been reading the thing down here, I said that District 5A can't pass a straight line test. If look, hopefully you guys haven't been through this test. And I haven't. So it's basically the sobriety test where the cop makes you get out the car drunk, and it's like, okay, walk in. And the cop knows if you know because you'll be walking around, you'll be going this way, you're going to the left. So that's what I mean by they can't pass the straight line test. So that's what been District 5A this year. I mean, touchdown to be St. Amon, then St. Amon would beat Walker, then Walker would defeat Touchdown. It's just crazy. And then Dennis Springs will have a big time win, and the next week they lose against Live Oak. Like it's just the district is just all over the place. But that's a perfect example of that. After Walker defeated Touchdown last week to end their undefeated season, Dennis Springs defeats Walker 21-14. So it's a crazy district, Jace.
Yeah, it is. It's insane. I mean, it was crazy last year, and I think it's even crazier this year. Like you mentioned, I mean, what a roller coaster ride it's been for Walker fans just the last 3 weeks, right? You get blown out by Shaw. I mean, there's no hanging your hat around that because Shaw is playing like one of the top, really 4 or 5 teams in the state right now, the way they've been playing. And then you beat Dutchtown, and you're feeling great about yourself. Like, hey, you're in the contention for the district championship. Now you play Denham Springs, and you go up 14-0. That's another thing that's lost in this equation. They get up on top of Denham Springs 14-0. You feel like, oh, okay, like this game is won, and like we have a chance to have a 3-way tie in district. And here comes Denham Springs. They come back, score 21 unanswered, and they beat you. So now it's like Dutchtown, after all this craziness, after losing last week and feeling like, oh, it's over for you, that Dutchtown now has a chance to win district because they beat San Mal head to head. So this district is insane. You mentioned really Denham Springs. They beat Walker. They lose to Live Oak. I mean, like everybody in this district beats up on each other. So like it is insane watching this district week in, week out. And there's like, there's nothing like, okay, we can kind of cruise here and just win this game. You can't, because any team in this district can beat you. And it just comes to show you, like you made a good point that, I mean, in this district that a lot of these kids know each other. They do. I mean, they know each other really well. Coaches know each other really well. So when you have a district like that, it makes for competitive games and competitive results, and it's unpredictable. This is an unpredictable district, and it has lived up to its billing, which we thought when we previewed this district going into a preview show this year. It's lived up to its billing.
Yeah, I mean, this thing, we talk about, this is one of the. I've said this before. It's one of the more underrated districts in the state of Louisiana, just because there's a lot of really good teams, but also they're all there's really no separation between each and every team.
A lot of parity. Yeah.
that a lot of parodies. That's why I say it's kind of one of the more underrated districts in the state. And a lot of people, may need to pay more attention to that district year in and year out, just because there's always parity. You never know who's going to come out on top in that district. But moving on, Dusherhand, just one of the games of the week we covered. Dusherhand defeated Honville 31-24. I'm not sure how did I pick Honville to win this game?
Yeah, you picked Tomville and I picked
Yeah,
Desherhand. So
yeah.
yeah,
I guess I remember that. Yeah, so Dusherhand defeated Honville 31-24. You're seeing right now in real time how much Jackson Fields was missed at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He's been huge. Since they've had him back, they've won. They've been awesome. You defeated a really good Honville team who has won 5 straight up to this point. We now have a 3-way tie in District 8 5A, which with Terrible and Honville and Dusherhand.
Yeah.
So that district is back to what we're accustomed to seeing, where she have
another
3 really good
great
teams.
district. Yeah.
Yep. And then also East St. John. No, East St. John's had a down year. Usually it's those 3 or 4 teams that usually like competing for the district title. But once again, another huge win for Marcus Scott, Jackson Fields, a really talented receiving core with blue chip recruits all over the place. Great win for a great program as you get closer and closer to the playoffs. And power ratings matter.
Yeah, these teams, like you talked about, Grant, Desherhand, St. Thomas More, like some of these big-time program names that win the state championships had struggled at the beginning of the year, but look at them now. Watch out.
Yeah, just another big time game. Like I said, these next 2 weeks going to be a lot of big time games, and that game was no different. This game usually is one of the top games of the year, but unfortunately, Curtis has been struggling as of late. Carr defeats them 35-14. That's all we're going to talk about because Carr handled their business. That's what Carr does, and we're going to talk a lot about them next week where you're going to have a district title game versus Rummel. And I'm really excited for that one, Jace. 2 really good programs, but 2 really good coaches. Bryce Brown at Carr, Nick Monica at Rummel. Big time matchup going to be played. I don't know where the game's going to be played yet because in New Orleans, of course, as you well know, Jace, we play all over the place because nobody really has their own stadium. Yeah, but that's gonna be it's gonna be a really good game. I'm really excited for it. You've already heard what we have to say about Carr. There's I'm not gonna talk about this game about Carr winning 35-14 because it's Carr. It's what we expect of Carr. Everyone at the program expects it. Bryce Brown expects it. John Johnson, the quarterback, expects it. Teron Francis, Dejon Smith, Oliver Mitchell, they expect it. Offensive line expects it. Brian Sanchez, the running back. Hey, you get one more point. Everyone expects it.
Think about what you just said. Think about what you just said, Grant. That Carr is becoming Curtis. Think about it. Because Curtis, that's what they are. That's what they were with JT. Like another win.
They still are. They still are. Yeah.
So, and the Carr is doing a pretty good John Kerr's impersonation after seeing them win state championships for so many years. And obviously got a lot to catch up to John Kerr's 28 state championships, but the way that they conduct themselves and the way that they are just like so focused and locked in each and every week, saying hey, on to the next one, on to the next one. Like, yeah, they are John Curtis like, and they took care of business against them.
Oh yeah, definitely, Jace, and just that's but really, that's what good programs are. It's not even just a JT thing or Bryce Brown thing or a Catholic thing or Jim Hightower thing. Good programs expect to win, and not only do they expect to win, they're not cocky about it. They're going to go on the field and show you. They're not going to talk about it. They're just going to go on the field and show you why they're the best. In Cars, different cars. It started under Don Watney back in the 90s.
Yeah.
A lot of those players, like including Bryce Brown, a lot of those guys a lot of his players have gone into coaching. Then then Jabbar Jaluk won a state title there in the early 2010s, and then Bryce Brown, who was Jabbar Jaluk's office coordinator at Carr, he becomes a head coach, and then they experience the greatest success in that program's history. This is a program, like I said, Jace, they expect to win. Everyone from the principal down expects to win. That's what a program is. That's what Carr is. And next week, if they win against Rummel, it will be the 3rd straight Catholic League title in their third year in the Catholic League. They've been dominating the Catholic League since they joined in. I think it's made the Catholic, not only it's made the Catholic League better and try to find ways to win games, but just however they can. But also, I just think that having a program like CAR, which has been one of the dominant programs in this, not only in the area but the state, the last 10 to 15 years. It's great that we have a program like CAR. Despite you can say, well, they're not Catholic. How can you call it the Catholic League? Like, to me, we've always called it the Catholic League. Yeah, we might call it District 95A, but to me, it's the Catholic League. Like, everyone in New Orleans is basically Catholic. Okay, like, I mean, if you do the prayer before the game, you do the Catholic prayer before the game. How many of those players are doing the silent cross? I mean, like,
look at the NFL professional football team that's represented in New Orleans. What is their mascot? Yep. The Saints.
The Saints.
So that should tell you everything that you need to know. But in the car, seeing this program, I mean, I was kind of there seeing the start of this run. I mean, not only covering for Louisiana Football Magazine, but I mean, my dad, when he was at Terra, they hosted a playoff game against Jabbar Jalouk in the car. And the car won that football game. And just the way that they've been able to just get better and better and really stack each other up. And when they're able to get this rolling, this program rolling, they've been pretty much near unstoppable. And Bryce Brown's just really Jabbar Jalouk, like he's mentioned. I mean, as far as in the 2010s, I mean, he really got it going in the mid 2000s, 2010s, and then you saw Bryce Brown just really take it to a whole new level. And you've seen what they're doing now. And like I said, the only thing I want to talk about the upcoming game is we were talking about so much. Okay, who's the second best team in the Catholic League? And we jumped around a couple of teams for that second team, but what was the first team we brought up? It was Rummel, and it's looking like it's going to come down to and the car and Rummel. So this is what we thought about. Now we threw in a couple of teams every now and then. Like at one point, I know we mentioned probably Brother Martin. I think we mentioned St. Aug as well. But it's going to come down to Carr and Rummel.
Yep. It's kind of what we expected at kind of the beginning of the year. We said that Carr was going to be the best team. We think Rummel was probably the second best team given what they had coming back and the way they finished the season last year. And it looks like this become true. So big game next week in New Orleans for the Catholic League title. Evangel defeats Lafayette Christian 56-42. Now, if I'm correct, I believe that is their third straight. The second straight win. So that's a huge. Their third straight win. That's going to get them into the playoffs, having 3 straight victories, and also considering look at the schedule and who they had to play. Their Power Rangers are going to definitely play in their favor. Next week they'll play Parkway. Maybe they could get a fifth win in a row against a very good Parkway team. Do I think they'll get the job done? I don't know. Parkway's a really good team, and right now I think Parkway's a better team in general. They're older. But it's very possible they could. But a big win over Lafayette Christian for the Evangel Christian
Kind of a
Eagles.
sneaky matchup, Evangel Christian, Lafayette Christian with some of the firepower that they got on both teams,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since the dilemma we talked about with Evangel Christian and having Pop Houston score that many touchdowns and account for that many yards and lose to Captain Shreve, they bounced back. You gotta give credit to Evangel Christian and how they've been playing since then.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. They've really turned things around. And then also they got to a little bit of their easier part. And here's the thing: they had a really tough start to the season because they had a really difficult schedule at the beginning of the year. I mean, you win against Neville. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right now. Their first, outside of Natchitoches Central, you had Neville, Bird, Airline, Huntington, a team that's always given Evangel problems in the past. And then Captain Shreve in that crazy 77-76 game where, of course, Pop Houston broke the national record. But since then, they beat Benton, they beat Podden, and they beat Lafayette Christian. So they got to the easier part of the schedule. They just had a really hard part of the schedule. So maybe their 4-game winning streak going to a game like going against a team like Parkway may help them. I don't know. Parkway's a really good team. they're not only sound offensively but defensively as well. So
They're
we'll see
physical
next.
too. They're big. They're intimidating. Like that's a tough Parkway team to
Oh
go
yeah,
against.
definitely with Devin Oliver on the defensive line.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
and Cam Mayo at the corner. But anyway, South Side 44, Carringer 21, Catholic 42, Woodlawn of Baton Rouge nothing. Acadiana 59, Sam Houston 7. Acadiana destroys Sam Houston again for the second straight year in a row. Sam Houston's got a decent program, so another very impressive win for the
That just shows you
Acadiana
how good
Rams.
this. Yeah, it shows you how good this Acadiana team is. I mean, they've been really. It's in their name. They're wrecking. They've been wrecking.
Yep. Yep. Airline defeats Ebert 35-21, and this is a recipe. This is something you got to look up for in the playoffs. The thing about Airline is that they one, I think just when you go against a running team like a solid running team like Bird, can not only can they stop them, but can they keep try to get them off the field so they can get their offense on the field. That's something you got to watch for come playoff time. Airline improves to 9-0, huge win over a Seabird team that's pretty damn good. 35-21.
How about the lowest points they've scored this year? 35. Is that the lowest points they've scored this year?
Yeah, let me see. The schedule's popping up in a second. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, that's a recipe. Like control the ball, keep your offense on the field, limit Ben Taylor and that offense their possessions. There's going to be a lot of teams looking at what C.E. Bird did. And even though Airline won the game, there's going to be a lot of teams looking to see this could be a good recipe to beat Airline with the way they played.
It is. When you go against a passing team like Airline, I know it sounds cliche, but whenever you go against an offense like Airline, yeah, you're going to want to run the ball to keep them off the field, and also because you don't want them to get in a rhythm or anything like that. Seabird does run the veer, so that plays well in their favor that they do run the veer. So you're going to take a lot of time off the clock. That's their style. But but when you go against the better 5'8" opponents who like to run the ball, like to be physical, yes, they do pass the ball, but they also want to be a very physical team. It'll be interesting to see how Airline steps up to the challenge of offense, trying to keep Ben Taylor and co off the field. But Jace, moving on. Alexandria defeated Washington Parish 55-12. Once again, they'll be playing against Neville next week and should be the game of the year. In terms of hype, Rummel defeats Jesuit 42-7. We already talked about their matchup with Nakar for that Catholic League title. That game will be played on Thursday. Really excited for that one. Barb defeats Sulphur 28-13. Parkway defeated Benton 57-21. Bonneville defeated West Jeff 20-12. Captain Street defeated Houghton 63-34. Opelousas defeated Birchman's Academy 48-6. Dutchtown defeated EA 30-14. Ben Franklin defeated Dolores Taylor Arthur 60-0. And then we also but that's going to be wrap up for Friday's games. There's some big time games Saturday. Of course, me and just already talked about Brother Martin and Warren Easton. We kind of alluded to that, how big of a game that is for both programs. Brother Martin trying to get out of a losing skid. Warren Easton is trying to make the playoffs. I know last year they didn't make the playoffs, but a lot of that stuff had to do with off the field issues, getting trouble with LCA. That has nothing to do with on the field. Right now, they're trying to make it to the playoffs after tough start to the year, and also have been really struggling in Catholic League play, has been winless. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for the Eagles to go up against the Brother Martin team that has been struggling offensively. But can they stop Eastern Royal? And what can be a prolific Brother Martin passing attack? The issue is that right now they don't have a running game, so right now their offense is one-dimensional, which is why they've been struggling offensively. So it's a great opportunity for this Warren Easton Eagle team to get a huge victory and maybe hopefully secure a spot in the playoffs. But a big win over a Brother Martin team, and then also given how difficult the schedule has been, and because remember, like I said, wins and losses, your opponent's wins and losses also determine your power range as well.
Yep.
So that'd be a huge game for the Eagles and the Crusaders. And then also talked about this earlier, De La Salle JFK. It's another big time game. That's a district title game right there as well. So that's another big time game you need to watch out for. Jace, to kind of wrap things up, just give your overall thoughts about this weekend, and then also maybe your thoughts about next weekend as well.
Yeah, Grant, always a pleasure to be on the show with you, man. Week 9. This is the first time we've had some some pretty bad weather down here. I mean, really more in the Baton Rouge, but still, like we've been blessed with some really good weather this year. I mean, the last time we had some bad weather was, of course, the hurricane really earlier this year. But besides that, we've been blessed with pretty good weather. Knock on wood. Hopefully, we get back to some good weather. Um, in playoffs, but yeah, I mean, not too great Thursday on Halloween. I mean, you saw Madison Prep and you knew how much the weather affected there. And then, I mean, tonight when I was at Dunham and Episcopal too. So those are, I mean, Mother Nature definitely affected some pretty big games. So we'll see how teams adjust to that as we get into playoffs because the cold front has to be coming soon. I mean, I mean
Yeah.
it's November and we're still waiting for it to come in. So hopefully it comes in. That way feel like football weather per se. So hopefully we get that in the playoffs. But man, Grant, can you believe it? Week 10 coming up. I mean, it's flown by. And we're approaching week 10. And my biggest takeaway from tonight, Grant, is a lot of these big time programs that we mentioned that maybe struggled at the beginning of the season. I mean, some of it had to deal with opponents, like tough non-district opponents, like St. Thomas More. I think that was more of just like you played three of the toughest teams, probably three of the top five teams in the entire state. I mean, you played Catholic, Acadiana, and Neville. I mean, back to back to back, and you see how they're playing right now. Madison Prep, I mean, you see how they're playing right now for going 0-3 to start off non-district play. Desherhan, they've struggled because of injuries, but getting some of those guys back, like Jackson Fields at quarterback, that's really helped. And some of these big name programs that struggled at the beginning of the year, we're seeing these teams strive, and they're winning their districts. They've won district championships, so or at least in contention to win district championships. So it's going to set up a very entertaining week 10. I know a lot of people say that district championships aren't, I guess, like a one. I mean, aren't really taken as lightly now, but I mean, they're championships.
Yep.
So those are big games to win. So that's what a lot of people, a lot of teams go into the season. They want to win district championships, and this is an opportunity for a lot of teams to clinch that in week 10. You get yourself a district championship, put that in your trophy case, and go into the playoffs with a whole lot of momentum. Obviously, next week, Graham, we're going to be talking about a lot of district championships on the line next week. Some of them are won tonight, but one more week in the regular season, and we're going to be talking about playoffs. We have one more of these, Grant, and man, it's crazy to think that after next week, the regular season is over. So, I mean, this season has definitely flown by.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah, I can't agree with you anymore. I mean, just I feel old now. I mean, we're already approaching week 10. The season's gone by really fast. A lot of big time games, a lot of shocking results, a lot of a storybook seasons for a lot of teams. Teams that we never really expected to get, be this good. I mean, Covenant Christian, Haynes Academy starting off the season 9-0. I mean, Franklin Parish and what they've done. Franklin and what they've done.
Yeah.
Central, is taking the next step in their program. I mean, there's a lot. It's Neville and Alexandria. Are the two best, arguably the two best teams in the state, and they'll be playing each other next week. So really excited. Week 9 lived up to his hype. Now it's week 10's term to live up to the hype before we get in the playoffs. As the selection show will be on Sunday. Really excited about that, Jace. We do need to talk about what we're going to do with that.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that soon. But anyway, once again, I'm Grant Chachere at Ruger Sports Media, the founder, owner of Ruger Sports Media, and I'm also a reporter for Crest City Sports. Jace Lejeune of Gridiron Football. Make sure to follow me and Chachere Grant on Twitter. Also, make sure to follow Ruger Sports Media at Ruger Media on Twitter. Also, make sure to follow Gridiron Football and Crest City Sports on Twitter and wherever you may get your social media. And then also make sure, if you're watching this YouTube, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Ruger Sports Media's YouTube channel. And then also, and the show will also we broadcast live every Friday on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So we'll see you guys next Friday. We'll have a Week 10 preview, and then also we'll always have our Nightcap show to recap Week 10, and we'll probably get something planned for the selection show. We'll talk about it, but until then, we'll see you guys next time.